Hello, everybody, and welcome to our last Hangouts on Air version of doing the show. From here on in, we'll be bringing you higher quality shows from Skype and using OBS. So please bear with us. This is the last time that you're going to be seeing the cruddy old software. And for all of you who've been looking forward to today, we are going to be doing a show on scrying pools and using mirrors, etc., in order to be able to calm the mind and see into other realms eventually. But we'll crawl before we can run. So welcome to Joel and to Janice once again. This week I actually get to take the lead. So you guys can unmute yourselves now.
Haha, I'm here for emotional support.
So
that's exactly what I posted. I was like, Sean's gonna be leading, and we're just here.
Yeah.
Anyways, as a background count, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, so what kind of experience? What? Joel, put down the boxing material. Okay, so.
Sorry.
So what experiences do either of you have with scrying pools? Joel, put it down.
Scrying pools. I'm trying to hydrate. I'm sorry. I slept all day. I worked last night trying to hydrate. Fun night at work. I not necessarily use it for scrying, but I have used pools of water for like meditation and stuff. And I can easily, I can feel myself getting drawn in. I can easily see how that would actually work very well. So besides that, not much. My experience with scrying has been with crystals. So
okay,
it's similar.
Well,
for me,
Janice.
No, nothing. Just I just had experience with that mirror that was already turned into something else. But no, I haven't had anything personal. I've tried using a mirror and it's just not happening.
Okay, so tell everybody about the mirror.
Oh gosh.
Oh no.
See, this is why we need you here, because I want everybody well warned, because otherwise they're going to assume everything's cool. So
yeah. So let's just talk about this traumatizing mirror that F Joel and Sean up for a while. So there was this mirror that's been in my family for generations. Like, long story short, what do you want? Because there's a lot to explain.
Tell them as much detail as you feel is necessary.
Okay. Well, so it's been in my family for generations. My mom passed away when I was 23, and the mirror was in the room with her. I think that it had an aid in helping her, like push her over the edge, because her depression was really bad, and it seemed like something had possessed her before she passed. And there was definitely bad stuff coming out of this mirror, but I had grown up with it all my life, so I was completely unaware of what it did or what was going on with it. I just felt uneasy around it, so I would cover it up with a cloth every night before bed. That's all that I did with this mirror. It was a full-length mirror. It was copper, and I think it had silver in the mirror itself because it was so old. My great aunt Jo Lou, she was actually going to get rid of the mirror after she got married. That was the plan, but she ended up dying 2 days before her wedding, and I'm evidently the spitting image of this girl. So fun times. But yeah, like, it's I would just, I don't know, I got used to always having like random stuff around me, not such great activity, because I didn't have boundaries up, so I didn't understand like you could stop ghosts and other stuff from interacting with you. So I just kind of got used to seeing weird stuff when I would wake up, and then when I was living with my boyfriend at the time, I dreamt about, or I would dream stuff, and then I would wake up and I would see things when I would wake up. And one of the things that I noticed is when I woke up is I would see the inverted ink blobs, like the ink blobs hanging from the ceiling, and they were all tarry looking and black at the top. And I also saw a guy wearing a red robe and a cow skull hanging from the ceiling. And what else? There was that Bruja that appeared, and she attacked my ex-boyfriend. Like literally like punched him and yelled at him and all that stuff. And it was weird to see like a cloud of smoke, like it's part of her and then like trailing behind her when she did that. What else? But yeah, it was just a lot of stuff came out of it. But again, when you're around something and you're accustomed to it, you think it's normal and you think everything should feel that way. And I had sent Sean pictures of the house and inside the house. And I wasn't even aiming at the get the mirror in the picture. It was like a slip is what had happened, I think, right, Sean?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
I was
I
just
think
taking
that's what
pictures
it
of the
was.
room. Yeah. And he just got like a glimpse of it. And it was like barely an inch of the mirror is what he had seen. And it was like slipping through the cloth that had covered it up. And he's like, dude, I get really bad vertigo. He didn't say dude. But anyways, he was like, dude, I get really bad vertigo when I look at it. And I'm like, I don't know what to talk about. It's a mirror. I'm used to it. And then I uncovered it. And then we actually did a live stream with it on. And at some point during the live stream, I'm holding my tablet and I move out of the way and you can actually see something move behind me. Like, what was it? Like 0.3 seconds after I moved. You can see that. Yeah. And it's pretty distorted. It's obviously not me. And that's when it was like an oh crap moment, I think. Because not only did you feel sick looking at it, but like the more you stared at it, like the more you saw. So yeah. And then we all did a group meditation, but Joel was asleep because he had worked the previous night. And then we did the thing where Sean took care of some stuff and then got the snot beat out of his arms and on his back, and it affected Joel and Sean for a while. So they were in pain.
It was my arms and Joel's back.
Yeah. But the thing is that like when you were turning the mirror around, it's funny because I couldn't see anything when I was looking at it, but when you started talking about it, I could see what you were seeing. So I could see like the inverted room, the inverted world, and then I could see a bunch of scary looking beasties in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The closest thing in the movie to it is the movie with first movie with Riddick, when they go to that planet. Things like that. There was lots of
the darkness or whatever it is, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah. But that was a thing, and it had been affecting my family for a long time, like slowly sapping out energy from everybody in the house and all that. And my sister and I had lived in a place together before all this, and like she didn't like that mirror because we rented an apartment together before my ex and I lived together, and she didn't like that mirror. She's like, I don't know what it is. I feel so uncomfortable in the hallway, but the mirror was there and she couldn't figure out what it was. And then after that, it's just been like, the mirror's fine now. Like it's evidently a different type of portal. And if I want to talk to my mom, that's how I can do it. But yeah. So I'm sorry. I don't sound like all positive about that, but that's another like personal thing.
No,
but
I'm not snickering about that. I'm snickering about it's a whole different kind of mirror.
Yeah, it is, because it's not as dark as it was, and it's weird because like, I grew up in a really bad childhood background where I was abused and all that crap, and then I'm just kind of used to feeling like crap constantly. So when the mirror got better, it was weird to like feel better. And then things started to get better from there. And then it was a lot easier to pick out negative energies after that. So, yeah.
Amazing what happens when you're no longer being inundated by negativity. You can actually, when you're not always in the dark, you can finally see the light. And that's the interesting part about that mirror. Now we've heard the negative mirror. So this is because, as Joel and I always say, and so does Janice, it's a thing. It's not always a good thing, but it's a thing. So
it is definitely a thing.
Word.
Yeah. And when we and one of the things that it took so much energy, and I was dealing with so much pain, it was like every inch that I was moving it felt like I was moving it 1,000,000 miles to turn it so that it had a different alignment.
And here's the other thing, and I'm not okay, this is not a dig at either of you, but Chris had to also cleanse the mirror a second time because there was still a lot left over.
No, I imagine that.
Okay.
It would take.
I'm not. I was like, this is not a dig at either one of you, but no, he had to cleanse it a second time, and he's a shaman as well. But he had to go through. He's like, what the heck went on with this mirror? And I was like, oh, blah. And then you do the whole blah crap moment, and you just kind of like repeat everything, and his face, like, I think his jaw was on the floor, and I was like, you got to pick it back up, dude. But he was like, what the, and I'm like, yeah, there's a lot that happened. And he's like, how in the world did you guys, how did your family have, I don't, so like his head was exploding. But yeah, like after that, like he had to do a lot of cleansing on that mirror because there was still a lot of residue left over. It's just, he's like, man, this mirror was just, there was such a perversion done to the mirror that it's just, You'll
have to forgive me for not doing the cleaning after.
No, well, because you guys,
my arms felt like they were. Don't take dragging on the ground. No, I'm not taking offense. I'm just joking about this because this is. Yeah. You'll have to forgive me for not finishing the job because Joel and I were kind of like laying in bed like Rocky and Apollo after the fight. Like, how you feeling, Apollo? I'm pretty screwed up.
Yeah, you guys were pretty beat up. But it's also the fact that he specializes in something that you don't specialize in. And that's the good thing, is that like there's different people with different gifts, and they like Joel says, it's different vibrations, but it's different lengths. And since he specializes in something different than both of you, he was able to see other stuff and take care of it. And he actually brought like all of his shaman stuff with him to my house. Like he brought his I can't even think of it right now. Like it's that special rug that they use, and like part of their totem and all that stuff. So I mean, he went all out.
Yeah.
And
there's something to be said. So let's like, I always like to remind people, just because somebody comes and does something for you, there is usually like follow-up. It's like when you go to the doctor and you're at the hospital and you get treated for something and then they let you go. It's because you're stable enough to finish your recovery later. Yeah. This kind of stuff has the same kind of thing to it. Mm-hmm. We could go through and we can cleanse something, we can get it straight, but then there might be some follow-up that you have to do, which is why we have the video, so you can
exactly watch. And it's also like the difference between that and a specialist, because there's this scope, and you guys were just doing the treatment to get it to stop doing the horrible things, and then it's just the rest of the treatment needed to be due to clear out the rest of the cancer.
Exactly.
So, yeah, and
you remember when I was there visiting you, I cleaned it with vinegar and water, and I said, yeah, this is going to need more follow up. As I'm saying that. I even said it back then. I said I got it aligned so that it's not so easy for them to get to. But they go, this is ours. We want it again.
Yeah, and it didn't help that there was ascendings that had come out of that mirror too. Like, and that's before Sonia's mirror came into play, because after Sonia's mirror, it's like you had a little bit more experience, because it's not like there's like a book out there that we can all read and know exactly what to do. I mean, really, it's like you kind of get in touch with your guides, you kind of get confirmation, and you're kind of making it up as you go along. Like you got to spitball, and then like, I'm guided to do this, I'm doing the thing that I'm guided to do, and then go from there. And it's like, well, if it sticks, we're good, right?
Well, in my case, I was guided not to do stuff because it just got through starting to talk with Airmid, and she showed me 3 things not to do, and I'm like, ooh, that's scary. And then you ask me what? I'm like, you don't want to know. It's like, no, I do want to know. It's like,
don't want to know.
So I go tell her, it's like, well, it's a good thing that you're not going to do that, right? Like she's thinking I'm thinking still on doing that. It's like, no, I'm not going to go in the mirror. I'm not going to stick my arm in the mirror, and I'm not going to look through the mirror. I'm not doing any of that stuff. No, it was bad. It was bad enough when we turned it, because they were flailing at me so hard. Joel wakes up after we're done. It's like, what'd you do to me, man? It's like, I didn't do anything. It's like, because my bag is killing me. It's like, thank you.
I'm so sorry, guys. Like, I did not know it was going to be that bad. And then at one point when we were cleaning the mirror, you had to tell me to scoot back because I was just too close to it, and I didn't know it because, again, I couldn't see stuff. I was just like, so yeah. And I feel bad. I know that you guys are good now, but it was like, fudge. I really hurt these guys. I hope they don't hate me forever. So, yeah. But it wasn't my fault. It's not like I, did this 200 plus years ago and I was like, you know what? I'm going to be reincarnated in this family. Now I'm going to fix this mistake. And that's not how that worked. That's not how that works. So, yeah. But
and then
it was used in
mirror.
Yeah, and then it's also like seeing what the mirror was used for in other rituals, like being able to, like, once it was cleansed and then seeing what it was used for, and it was not good. And they were purposefully trying to make a portal out of it for dark things. So and they succeeded. It took them a while, but they freaking succeeded. So
hence why we laughed so hard at Zach Bagan's little Halloween special in 2017, where he parked that goober in front of the mirror and he's like, "Yeah, that's
that guy.
Lugosi's mirror." And I'm like, "Oh, here it's coming! It's coming! The poser's going down!" Bam! And he goes, "Creed is down! Creed is." Oh, it was funny. Oh my God, I was laughing so hard. Yeah, everybody in the house was laughing. It's like, we had plenty of experience by the time that happened to know you don't go tempting what's on the other side, because and that will lead me into my experiences going back to when I was a kid. Okay, so I've always known that mirrors weren't an awesome thing, because my father had remodeled the main bathroom in our house so that it had mirrors that would reflect upon each other, and I began to feel as if I was being watched near constantly. And those mirrors, I'm so glad my mom had them taken out, because it turned out that, yeah, there were things watching. And when I went to the summer camp with the California Boys Choir, one of the training methods that we were given to help us meditate and focus was the choir choreographer, Robert Rogers, put a mirror down and said, "Okay, I want you all to focus on the mirror and to move through the mirror and into the mirror world." And I did it. The other boys got real tired and just got up and left. But for me, 3 hours had passed and I didn't even know it, because I was focusing on the mirror. And the next thing I know, I'd stepped through it and was in the alternate version of what it was reflecting, which was the girls' dormitory in Loma Linda University. And I found things there, walking down to the main hall, to the main exit, where there's the entrance, and everybody would come in, and there's usually places to sit when you're waiting for the girls to come downstairs. But during the summer, it's just the boys and the boys choir. And at the entrance, there were things that were rather interested in the fact that I was where I shouldn't have been, and they chased me back, and I rolled away from the mirror, sweating profusely. And Bob Rogers looks at me and says, "Well, yeah, you did well, but we probably shouldn't do that again." And he asked me at length several years later what I saw. And he said, "Yeah, that's something we probably should have done something to cleanse the mirror." And I remembered that quite well. And so I never played with mirrors again. Years later, when I was trying to find some kind of method in order to be able to do scrying, as most people will get, you got pendulums, you have, there's tarot, etc. Tarot, it's interesting to me, but I can't really get as much out of it as I would later and find out from using a scrying pool. Now, the difference between a scrying pool and a mirror has to be defended. You're going to have to protect it all the time. And you're going to have to put wards on it. And you're going to have to make sure that nothing can monkey with it, or else you're going to end up finding just what Janice found, and also what Sonia found on hers. And hers was, in a way, worse, but also much simpler to deal with, because I only had to deal with 3 things. And it was worse because it could reach out and start affecting mundanes from miles off. Her father had boxed this thing up, put sigils on the box, and then put it into storage where nobody should have been able to reach it. And her mother got dragged to find this thing and lie about it. "Oh, look, I found another one. It looks just like the last one, Sonia. Isn't this wonderful? You can have a pair when we find the other one." And so that created its own problems, and they got worse and they got worse, until eventually I had to say, "You know what? I can't wait any longer, because the mirror sending is now affecting everybody in the family at a prodigious pace." And when I looked at Sonia, she actually had a root from this mirror wrapped around her, and it had plunged into the right side of her head. It was literally pulling, I guess, energy from the side of her, from the temple, right over her, right behind her right eye. And when I when I saw it, I realized it was dangerous, and I kissed the top of her head and silently said, "I'm sorry," and ripped the thing out. She collapsed. I didn't find out for 20 minutes because I was too busy dealing with the things that were not happy about what I'd done in the mirror and what came after. So now I'm going to tell you the good parts about utilizing, say, a scrying pool, because what you're going to end up doing is you're going to end up finding something. And here comes the camera as it turns on. This is my scrying pool. This is just a ceramic bowl I got from an artisan. It's quite pretty. I found it when I was going to a fair. Realized that this would be the ideal thing and got it. It's handmade. I prefer that in all ways. Whenever you're making or dealing with something that has to do with any kind of work, something that's made by hand is always going to trump something made by machine. So this is my scrying pool. The upside to whenever you're going to use this as a mirror is the fact that every time you put water in here, it's going to be a new mirror, which means that you have a very minimal chance of anything monkeying with it. And so when you're going to pour the water in and start utilizing it for what it's for, it's clean. It's literally clean. And the better the water, of course, once again, just like the better the material, the better that the outcome is going to be. So I usually recommend mountain spring water. It's not only good to drink, but it's got trace minerals, and it's better for you anyway than that purified garbage. So for those of you who are drinking purified water, it's totally not the same. Don't buy into the hype. Mineral water. And you fill it up to about midway, and then set it someplace where you can actually look into it. And this is the case with almost any mirror that you're going to use, including one that if you want to get a proper mirror and you want to defend it, good luck. I haven't had any good luck with that myself, but if you want to defend it, then you feel free to do so. And when you look into it, what you're looking for is not for a reflection. You're looking for not a reflection, for areas that are not reflecting you, not reflecting light. You want it to be perfectly still, not moving, not reflecting a light in the room and causing a dancing sensation on the water. Once all the ripples are gone, you look into it and you calmly breathe, you meditate, and focus on the water. And as you do so, you let your mind relax and become like the water. For me, this is easy. For most people, it takes some time and effort. For me, my ability to see comes from basically from the water, from the ocean, from meditating on water and how it's malleable and strong and how it touches everything, especially on this planet. Water touches everything. It's in everything. It's a part of everything. It's around the world. It's in the air. It's in our bodies. And knowing that it touches on everything means that you can, through that water, touch everything. It's one of the principles of thaumaturgy, as above, so below. Basically, we know this from the chaos theory, that a small portion of anything is exemplar of the larger whole. Just like a leaf on a tree actually grows in the same pattern and fashion and algorithm as the tree itself. So water touches everything. Understanding that means that you can eventually see everything. Relaxing your eyes, relaxing your vision as you look into it. Don't focus hard, and breathe. Focus on the breath until eventually you start to feel the rhythm of your breathing and the rhythm of your heart slowing down. Keep focusing on the water itself, and eventually just move into it. You start to feel that you can actually move into the water, into the reflection, and through it. So, any questions?
Yeah, I just was, while you was talking about it, one of the things that came to me is it's like those messages, those hints of wisdom that just kind of comes when I listen to things. So we start discussing things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that's what this is. It seems like I'm being told, like, when I do it, I should look for, like, focus on the veil and look peering beyond the veil through
Exactly
the next barrier. Just find the two veils I'm looking through and just part it so I can see it like a curtain.
Yeah,
I actually can feel myself being pulled into like a meditative state when you was talking about it. It was
sorry.
You know how it is. You know how it is.
And that's my voice. Yeah.
That's us. That's
yes.
us. Yeah.
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 So, and using the water as the medium to actually pass this veil makes it easier because the water is pure and safe. And I say that because if I don't, Aquaticus is going to give me hell when I go to Carpinteria next time. So you got to tell him that, man. For those of you who don't understand, Aquaticus is the element of water that was stationed to protect my family. And he sounds like a surfer dude. Janice thinks he sounds like Keanu Reeves, but trust me, his voice doesn't sound anything like that.
He sounds like Keanu Reeves from Point Break in my head, all right? Just go with it.
Anyway, everything to him is all about water, and it's wet, and it is okay. All right, okay. I won't. I'm trying to explain it, but he just wants me to just be his mouthpiece. Okay. So please don't make me look stupid. I'm on air. Okay. When was the last time you made me look stupid? The time you knocked down that girl when it was getting too close to Trevor. That's when. And I kept on trying to save her, and you kept on picking her up and moving her through the water because that was embarrassing. All right. So, sorry. Story I'll tell another day. Okay. So, he says the motion of the water is I'm not going to say it in your voice. The motion of the water is the most important thing because you feel the motion and the rhythm, and you let it continue to move through you. Because the rhythm of the water and the waves is the rhythm of your soul. It's the rhythm of how the water moves through your body. Because everything is wet. I used it, okay? Everything is wet at its core, not dry. And water is the pervasive substance that nourishes, pierces, cradles, and supports everybody. So I'm throwing that last one in there because you're getting esoteric. So, yeah, okay, slow down. And when you're looking at the water, realize that you're really looking into yourself and really feeling your connection to the most core element of what you are and how you actually live. You can make it salt water. You can make it regular water. If you feel like going to the beach and meditating there next to the surf on the sand and just want to scoop out a bowl of water and then put it in front of you, you can do that as well. So is that enough, or did you want to communicate more? I like the way you explain stuff too, but it's hard for them to understand, but thank you. He says to remind everybody that everything that matters is wet, and everything that's wet is awesome. I've embarrassed myself enough. Please, somebody say something.
So,
God,
it's interesting to hear him.
Yeah.
Like, because he's like, as you're relaying what he's saying, he's like, gives me an image of Bidwell Park up here in Chico. I guess that's where I'm supposed to go scoop my water from. Yeah, I guess, yeah.
He's big on big images. He's big on big understandings. And some of the things he says that I know the words are just insufficient because he's amazingly bright, and he knows. I mean, whenever he wants to make a big explanation about something, I have to show this because it's embarrassing, but at the same time, you're going to understand what Sean goes through. Okay. Sometimes when he talks about stuff, he uses big hand gestures like this, and then he'll put his hands out when it's a big thing, like he's balancing on a wave, and he starts to move his shoulders like this, and everything's about the water. And I can't move like he does, but I'm doing my best. So it's like that. And it's embarrassing. But now I've shown you, so he'll leave me alone.
Never. Sorry.
But it's always about the motion of the water. Seriously, it is. And Bruce Lee said it also because he believed that the strongest element was water. Truthfully, they all argue which one of them is strongest. I don't buy into the fight. But water is something that's malleable and can become everything. So that means that it has, as I said before, a link to anything. So it is. Yeah, more than likely, Diane, rainwater, river water. It's all very personal. There's not a single thing. Everybody's water is so personal.
I was about to say, like, the only images I got was actually at the beach. Like I don't think I've ever been to this beach before, but I'm getting it in my head, and off to the left I can see the water, and there's other people there that I don't. Okay, one of them I recognize, but anyways, but yeah, like I'm being shown the beach and I'm being shown the waves and watching them move, and there's like a pier off to the far left, and yeah, it was and I've never been to this beach before, so that's interesting to have that image. So it makes sense why it's different for everybody.
Yeah, everybody's place is going to be different. For me, it's where he likes to go best, which is the city of Carpinteria, and it's got tide pools. It's the water flows in a different way than it does almost anywhere in California. If you just go a little bit to the south, there's amazing surfing areas because of the reef, but the reef doesn't exist farther to the right, and that's where these stingrays go, and it's beautiful. I'll walk out good 150 feet past the breakers and just float there. And for me, that's where he and I are always together, is right there. And when I have to leave the water, and Trevor and I have to leave the water, it's still with us. And getting that connection, that same feel that I've hopefully instilled in you. Hopefully this is instilled in you from the chat. When you pour the water in, you'll be able to recover it and remember it and go with it. And go with and feel the water move through you while you're looking into the water itself. Yeah, that's true. It's all dependent on that, but there are water sources that attract you more than others, and I've learned that from him. Like the beach that I grew up near was god awful, just the worst. Imperial Beach. That was just, if you look it up, it's one that they use a lot, because almost nobody goes there, since it's where the Hyperion plant is for sewage treatment for all of Los Angeles. It was the closest one to my home, and my mother always took us there, and whew, did it smell. So if anybody's got any questions on it and what you would want to do with the scrying pool and such, I'll answer questions now.
I'm glad. I'm very happy that showed your vessel. It's a gorgeous vessel.
Isn't it cool?
Recycle.
Yeah.
It's not to get
it fits you very well. Yeah. Look at that vessel, babe. That's a scrying mirror.
His what?
Scrying mirror. Fills it with water. Use it for scrying. It's beautiful. That blue
Use it for
ceramic
what?
scrying.
I don't know what that is.
We'll talk about that here in a little bit.
Okay. Perfect. I will learn something.
I'm gonna have to rewatch this later. I'm sorry, I had to go to the restroom, so I got to see a little bit of it. But yeah.
Okay. So the water itself, once you actually begin to feel and you're calmed, and your mind should actually start to merge with the water, and I mean this in every sense of the term. What happens is, as you look into it and your mind begins to slow down and it calms down, and the images that you will see, not in the water, that is incidental. The water is your link to the visions. As your mind relaxes, you go to a greater place where you're beyond this veil, looking into a larger pool of water beyond this reality, and experiencing things from outside and feeling the images within your own mind. Letting your mind settle on what you see and being able to draw the images into your head. Eventually, the scrying pool becomes a means of tightening the visions, and you're able to do it without having to have the bowl itself. And you don't close your eyes. You don't have to close your eyes for that. And I now can do it by just looking through a doorway. All I have to do is focus on a doorway and just look through an open doorway, and there I go. And the scrying pool itself is a larger part, and we'll discuss it another day, a larger part of the sanctum that you will eventually craft in order to have a safe place within and without yourself to be able to do the works. And I wanted to go over this because I'm going to start throwing in concepts such as the greater ones like Thelema. Thelema is actually doing the work. It's doing the greater work and focusing on making sure that you're a vessel that's empty for doing good things. That so that you can, if you do a couple of good things or one good thing for someone, you have no idea how big it will grow. But to give you an idea of what has happened with our group, just to give you an idea of just one change that made a huge difference. There was a lady who was dealing with problems in her home that she didn't know how to deal with, and she asked for help, reached out, and her friend was in trouble, and her friend also asked for assistance. Now, the friend was dealing with a home that was infested with previous energy that had never been cleared out, and to steal from Tolkien, like a patch of midnight that had never been cleared away. And I went in and cleared this out, which was just the memories of the previous homeowner who was a drug addict. And whenever enough energy crossed into the house, things would happen. And so, things would slam and bang, and she'd see shadows. But the other thing is that across her land is a ley line in a well, and things would regularly walk from miles away to pass through her home and leave residue, scare the pants off of them on the way to the ley line in order to feed, in order to maintain themselves. So by keeping them out and by clearing the home and by moving on a child who was living there in the spare bedroom, this person was able to get in contact to a minor degree. They're making baby steps with their guide, and the guide woke her in the middle of the night and with a vacuum commercial on TV that had been off, warning her she needed to clean house so that she could be prepared for someone that needed to be fostered. This kind of thing is the cornerstone of what we hope to make happen in people's lives when they say, come and help us. We're in trouble. And they have no idea that what we're doing is just setting the ball in motion, just flicking the marble so that it starts to roll downhill. That's all we're really doing. And we stand back and appreciate all the wonders that then come into your life. That is the great work. Oh, anybody got anything to say aside from me? They're all just listening quietly.
Yeah, I've got nothing to add, so yeah.
No, that was eloquently done.
Okay. So any questions on the mirrors, or shall we go to open questions section?
I'm just getting out of this that basically you use the scrying pool. You basically use it the way that I use tarot is what I'm getting from this.
Yes.
Okay, because I was like, this just sounds like, because it feels like that to me. It feels like that, and then sorry, and then the way that you're describing it when you get lost into the water, but not completely. It's almost like, for me, I think it's like going to the beach and actually touching the water, and that weird, like, it's almost like you feel like you're part of one with the universe. Yes. And source, and then it's just this continual flow of consciousness that comes into you, stream of yes. consciousness. Okay, so I'm just making sure that I'm getting what you're saying, and I'm not like,
I'm sorry if I'm too vague.
No.
Blame Aquaticus. It's his fault. He likes vague because it like makes everybody think, dude. And if you're not thinking for them and they're thinking for themselves, then you've led a man to fish for himself so that he eats forever and shit. Seriously.
It's not vague. It's actually good, though, to get people thinking and processing, because it's supposed to be a personal experience for them. Because all of our communications with whatever is different for everybody. Even though, like, even two people that are clairvoyant, it's still going to be different images that they get. It's more personal to them, or they might see exactly what it is. So it makes sense. It makes total sense.
Yeah.
And through the water, you can go almost anywhere. And I'm going to steal one from Yoda. It's like when you look into it, you will see the past, the future, friends long gone, things not yet dreamt of. And also on the other side of the veil, and in some cases, you can see things that have been that are currently in existence alongside ourselves.
Yeah.
And I do apologize for saying the S word. That's if I didn't, he was going to complain at me that I didn't do. It's like he goes like, yeah, do the thing, do the voice. I like when you do the voice. Do the voice. I can't do the voice. But I do it for him. Makes my family laugh like crazy. Like do the voice, good. And then he's doing the shoulder thing. Okay, so like he's on the surfboard. It's like I don't know if anybody else who has an elemental spirit that guides them and tells them and stuff and does it while dressed in a short scuba suit.
Wow.
No, but I have seen it when people channel other things, other entities. Their voice changes, their tone changes, everything changes, even their mannerisms change. So it makes sense why he's like, no, do it like this. So
do the thing, do the thing,
do the thing.
That's it. It's like do the thing. It's like all right. So yeah. And he's so funny about it too. He loves when people laugh because he says when I laugh is every time the waves crash down, because it's always a joy to watch the foam fly and know that that's going to be rolling back out and coming back in again, and I'm going to get to ride it. And the ocean's never the same twice, but it's always the same every time you touch it. It's timeless and it's new every time. It's like, okay, so am I good with the water philosophy? Are we gonna give me extra points? Good. So yeah. When he waxes philosophical, he just keeps going and he takes me along for the ride. And I can't say it's unpleasant because it's like floating on sea foam and on a semi-calm ocean, and you just feel it rolling under you.
Look, it's his flow. You can't interrupt his flow. Water jokes.
Yeah, he goes, I like him.
Yay, pun.
Yeah, so if this wasn't descriptive enough, eventually someday down the line I'll actually show what it looks like watching as I actually show the whole method and projecting to the water. But can't do it today because unfortunately we have the new hardware on its way. I'm going to be getting a new camera and a tripod, and it's should be here after the 5th. We're going to be using new software, new hardware, hopefully be able to bring the channel up to a new level of cool. Janice already has one, but she's not turning it on because she's shy.
Because let's just go with that's my answer. Yep.
So now that I'm in a new place, we still haven't got finished totally set up, and hopefully I have a new spot for. I kind of like what a computer is now, but we need to get a computer desk, and I might have a new spot for the computer desk. I might move it into the bedroom. I'm not sure yet. I kind of like it in the dining room though.
And since it's if you want to hook up like the same kind of camera that Janice and I are going to get, which is a C920, they're on sale at Best Buy right now for $60 off.
C920.
Yeah, I'm a little bitter because Sean got a smoking deal on it, and I bought it like 3 days before he did, and then he's like, "Oh, look at this," and I'm like, "Dirty pirate! This is so not fair." Because it's like $40 total, or $40 for the camera itself. The tripod on top of it made it $60. But yeah.
And the tripod was half price. The tripod's half price too, so it was really cool.
So if you take, Best Buy is one of my favorite stores. You can tell by how much I spend in lights in my house. You might actually been able to take it back to get they usually.
No, she got it from Amazon.
I bought it off of Amazon because I did price shopping like a good little monkey, and then my husband, his name is Ian, is like, you should just get it because it's on, it's on sale, and I'm like, okay. Yeah. And 3 days later, this happens, and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? What the? But
yeah.
C'est la vie.
She's still bitter. I'm sorry. I feel
I would be bitter too.
You haven't seen bitter. I am not bitter. You have not seen bitter yet, dude.
Oh man.
So what the takeaway from this is, please, for the love of God, don't mess with mirrors. Use the scrying pools. It's a safe way to go. It's easier. It's safer. You don't have to worry about cleaning it so much. You don't have to worry about the things that come out.
It's for your sanity is why you should not mess with them.
And it's a better connection with nature.
And the mirrors themselves, I mean, look at this. What's the more glowing affidavit for don't do it than the fact that Zach Bagans puts one in his museum? Okay, I mean, he's the king of bad decision making.
Sorry.
I wish you'd been around for when we did the video on 10 things, because you would have just gone, we're just doing 10 things, really? Because that's what everybody else said. I said, we got to pare it down. It's got to be a short show. It's got to be 10.
I listened to all the old ones, and I saw the one that you're talking about, and yeah, no, I don't. Anyways, I'm gonna be quiet now.
Yeah, that was it was okay when his consort, which is just a paid, he's just paid to hang around him.
She's really pretty. She's really, really pretty, and that's it.
And she's that's all she is. She has a channel on YouTube. She talks about BDSM stuff all the time. And because I had to look her up, I was like, what the heck? Who is she? And then find out that, she's paid to be there. That's why he says consort. And so when he went and got knocked the F out, she runs out of there all pretty. I mean, she literally was a wonderful eye candy running with her arms in the air. Eee! I thought that was hilarious. And when they kept showing Father Sebastian getting knocked down, it was just funny. Every time was a chuckle. It's like, yep. He says, I was trying to provoke it and see what I could get out of it. Ooh, you found out that was a bad idea. Here's the rest of us knowing it was a bad idea before you even stuck your face in front of it. And they're like, it's because of Bela Lugosi. BS. Bela Lugosi thought he was a vampire for a short while, so he wouldn't think he had a reflection. He got that because somebody had used it in a negative way as a mirror, and he was interested in finding out what was in there. It was his because he bought it, not because he made it that way. You're not going to find Bela Lugosi in there. You're going to find things that were like what we dealt with Janice's mirror that hurt real effing bad. So if that's not a glowing endorsement for don't do it, I don't know what is. Yeah, I don't think Diane, I don't think she was a mistress. She doesn't do that kind of thing, according to her little videos. But yeah, I mean, she's thinks she's an expert on a lot of the BDSM things, but mostly what she does is set up parties and just that's what she does. I'm pretty sure that's how she and Sebastian met. She sets up the parties that they go there and pretend to be vampires in, and everybody gets a set of fake fangs and whatever. I know she isn't a blood doll because bloodletting would give her scars, and she wouldn't be good for eye candy after that. If you want to know what a blood doll is, you guys can look it up. I'm not helping. It makes me ill just considering it. So don't be silent, Joel. Say something. Don't just do something. Sit there.
I am at a loss. I think we covered everything. I was just getting some images of some mirrors and stuff when you was talking about mirrors, and it was just.
Yeah, I don't think I could say that they're a good thing ever.
Yeah, hold on.
I'm holding.
I didn't have anything to say. Sorry.
It's okay. Just don't leave me hanging.
Well, what do you want me to say? Like, I don't know what else to add to it. So.
It's called teasing. So that
what?
Being quiet. Oh no, I
you,
shot that. Me?
You
yeah. God, no.
Give me a hard time. That never happens.
Oh geez, like I've you've never put on the spurs and ponied up and gone, yeehaw, Sean, do this. Like, oh my god.
You started.
Okay. I'll let that one go because if we start the did not, did not, the people are gonna just tune out.
Oh my god.
Where?
Do I have to stop this? Do I have to stop this podcast?
No, Joel, you don't have to turn the car around and stop it.
So maybe take this podcast to the beginning.
I'm playing nice, I promise. I'll stop.
No, I think
Yeah, at some point in time, where I'm going to also show some of my accoutrement for doing works like the cup, because the cup, Aquatics' cup, I used to have a silver one, never had a good connection with it, and I found that ceramic is like his thing. So when I finally found one on, I think it was Etsy, and this guy only made them like on demand. So they're always different. And he's like, oh, that's so cool. That's like the ocean. It's new and once again, new and old at the same time and always unique and never the same. So it's like, do that. And I filled it with shells from the beach.
That makes sense because of what the material is. So that totally makes sense.
I was thinking that actually ceramic might represent the other elements too, because since it is a vessel, there's air contained in it. They use fire to cure it, and then it's made from the earth. So when you bring the water in, you're actually bringing in all the four elements, and plus the center, the void. So there's that. So you bring in like all 5 elements in. Boom! There's your shaman for today.
That's why I love this thing. It is really probably one of my fondest things that I'd found. One of the first things that ever caught my eye and really said, hey, don't leave without me. That's a thing too, is that inspiration that catches you and says, hey, don't go. You need to pay attention to this. That's sometimes it's a guide. Sometimes it's your inner inspiration telling you something, but always listen to it. Even if you don't fully commit to what it's telling you to do, pay attention to its wisdom, because somewhere down the line, it might actually push you in the right direction to do something you didn't know you needed to do. And that's kind of crucial. Keeping your ears open, keeping your mind open is part of the process. It's part of being in the moment and following the good works and walking in wonder and doing the good things that need to be done. And that's really what I hope you're all here for, actually, is learning how to do the good things and knowing that the good things can be done and the miracles can happen for you and for the world, because you're letting what's within you, the divine within you, reach out and touch the rest of the world and make its mark so that it can reverse negativity that's running rampant on our planet all the time.
Nice.
So I guess we should wrap this up now, because we're about to close down, and so we're going to say goodbye to Hangouts on Air. Goodbye, Hangouts on Air. You were nice while it lasted, and we're going to miss you now that it's gone. And if anybody's got any last things to say before I shut everything down, go ahead.
See you next time.
Sorry. Yeah, sure. See everybody next week. Yay.
And what is it we're going to be doing next week?
I don't remember, Sean.
Calling cards.
Oh, calling cards. Yay. I'm sorry. It's been a very...
It was your choice.
Sorry, I sound so ditzy right now, and I'm not that ditzy. No, it's been a busy day, and like other stuff has come up, and we'll talk about it off air. So I'm going to stop. But yeah, we will definitely talk about calling cards next week. I'm super excited.
Yeah, so it's calling cards next week, and calling cards are what, Janice?
It's how you know basically what you're talking to, like what you're getting confirmation from, whether it be a guide or a dead person or what, and how to differentiate between the two. And it also will let you know like what your circuit is, whether you hear things, see things, taste things, because there are some people that actually do taste things, the clairgustians, feel things, hear things. There's a bunch of different clairs out there that people don't know about. But yeah, it'll also help you know what your circuit is and how it works. Because normally most people that I talk to, they're like, oh, I only do this. Well, yeah, there is one thing, but normally it's like a second sense that gets knocked in with it. But they don't realize it because they kind of go hand in hand with each other. So
that's next week's show. Tune in at 6 o'clock next week. And thank you all for being here. We know you could have been anywhere that you wanted to be. You could have been watching anything, but you were here watching with us. And we appreciate that. We appreciate you. We appreciate all the learning that you come here to take from us. And hopefully someday you'll be able to teach us something, because being the teacher doesn't mean you can't be the student. And walking in wonder means keeping your eyes open for anywhere that knowledge can be. Stay blessed until next time we meet.